Last year, almost 2 million people stopped buying radio.
Hi, I'm Glenn and we're having a great time here at the Big Gig. Maybe you can't be with us right now, but we'll be with you in half an hour at 10 o'clock. Be there or be spanked.
Tens of thousands of students jammed Tiananmen Square in Beijing, demanding more freedom, just hours before an official...
Gameboy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable. Gameboy comes complete with batteries and the outrageous new game Tetris. And for head-to-head competition, use Video Link and blow your opponent away. Gameboy, only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, portable power.
How's it going, everybody? A Smoother Flavor here, and today I want to talk about the launch of the Nintendo Game Boy. 1989. The art, the music, the culture, all of it to die for. Such a marvelous time where the only thing we were really worried about was the inevitable heat death of the Earth by man-made bombs, or man. Oh, and also games. Wow! After the resurgence of the gaming market with the Nintendo Entertainment System, the company's founders knew that they had to tap deeper into the market and pockets of video gamers. Nintendo had previously forayed into handheld gaming with the Game & Watch, a series of LCD games that... Okay, you really don't want to hear this, right? You don't want to hear the same story about Gunpei Yokoi on the train where he sees someone spelling boobs on their calculator for fun that every other YouTube video about the launch of the Game Boy talks about, right? Alright, so, post-calculator boob train realization, Nintendo went on to produce the Game & Watch, an easy manufacturing feat for them since most of their computer and screen components were provided by the Sharp Corporation, a business relationship that would only grow stronger throughout the years. Nintendo's relationship with Sharp would become so close that they would even one day release the Sharp Nintendo Television, a TV with a built-in NES. So, after realizing the potential for a handheld system with the ability to play games on interchangeable cartridges, Nintendo and Sharp went back at it, manufacturing this lovable brick of a system that we all have some sort of appreciation for in our heart of hearts. After the handful of licensed Game & Watch titles that began coming out in the heyday of that system, one might expect the launch lineup for Nintendo's flagship handheld console to have an astronomical level of content for the system.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No.
Well, at least it has Yakuman. Since I don't own a majority of the launch titles, we're going to dive into 6 Game Boy titles that released in 1989 throughout the year. 3 of them being from the launch, and 3 of them being other titles that released before 1990 rolled around. So, we're just going to take a look at them, see what got everyone excited for this new revolution of gaming that they had on their hands. So, let's check it out. First up, we have Super Mario Land, a platformer on the Game Boy that certainly gave customers and developers a good first look at what the 4.9 MHz CPU's bread and butter really was. 2D graphics. Wow. For what it was, the sprite work is wonderfully executed. Goomba-shaped characters look like Goombas, Koopa-shaped characters look like Koopas. So why did Nintendo feel the need to give these characters separate names from Super Mario Bros. Enemies? Goombos instead of Goombas? Cocoon Flower instead of Piranha Plants? Bombshell Koopas? Well, those are just Koopas that go boom, but you get the point. For some reason, Nintendo really wanted to separate the Land and Bros universes, seemingly broadening the scope for Super Mario Land, while maintaining that Super Mario Bros. For the NES is a completely different franchise. I get it, but come on, it's a freaking Goomba! All in all, this definitely does control differently from the NES title, and the water levels and new enemies do give the game a bit more scope. Though, I don't care what you say, I can't fight this Sphinx-Lion hybrid without noticing that it's attacking and jumping very similarly to Bowser in the first boss fight of Super Mario Bros. But who cares? Now I get to carry Mario in my pocket. Oh, Tetris. You know, one time my drunk racist uncle from St. Louis told me that Tetris was designed by the Soviets to brainwash everyone else. Well, if that's the case, they did a great job. This game is addictive, and I think its publishers fully knew that. In 1988, Hank Rogers of Bulletproof Software found himself entranced by the Tetris game set up in Spectrum Holobyte's booth at CES that year. He then sought after the copyright for this game, knowing what a hit he had on his hands. After finally obtaining the proper licenses, Rogers approached Nintendo of America's president at the time, pitching Tetris as a game for everyone that they could pack into their soon-to-be-released Game Boy system. After a great deal of back and forth between Nintendo and the USSR, who controlled the rights for Tetris through their subsidiary company L-Org, the rights for a Game Boy version of Tetris would be solidified. Due to ongoing legal disputes, this kept Tetris from releasing alongside the Game Boy in Japan, but it lined up perfectly with the release in the North American market. So, what is Tetris? Basically, you take these varying shapes and make horizontal lines with them, gaining points with every line that you clear. And it does this when you clear 4 of them. As far as fundamentals go, this game is as simple as it gets, therefore making it the perfect game for everyone. Except for me as a kid. I used to think you won by filling up the screen all the way. Barebones nature aside, this game was still just as integral a showcase for developers as Super Mario Land was. It paved the way for people to do some absolutely mind-boggling things with this system when you take a look back at it. It's time. Are you scared? Because it's time for Yakuman! Wow. Yakuman's a Mahjong title. What? Did you expect anything else from a game whose cover is a chill-ass guy playing Mahjong? I don't really know too much about Mahjong. I know that it's an ancient game that nowadays is reserved for cute Japanese grannies and cute Japanese mob bosses. But for the Japanese market, this really stepped in for their lack of a Tetris game at the launch of the Game Boy. It may not be a new game, but with the familiarity aspect, as well as the portability, it only made sense that this title would come out at launch. That's about all I have to say, though. I really have no idea how to play this game. And that ends the section where I talk about the launch titles. Along with these titles, we have Golf, Tennis, and Alleyway. But what happened after developers got a taste for what this system could do? What absolutely groundbreaking titles would follow in the footsteps of those smash hits? Introducing Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle. Walk around, beat up your favorite Looney Tunes, collect carrots. Oh, god damn it. This is just a lame password-based platform puzzler again, isn't it? What's to stop me from just entering the password for the final level and just playing that and throwing the game in the dump after? Up next, we have Motocross Maniacs. Motocross Maniacs was the first release by Konami on the Game Boy. In North America, it was published under Ultra Games, a subsidiary of Konami previously created to circumvent Nintendo of America's yearly publishing limit for developers. Seemingly similar to Excitebike for the NES, this game takes your average motorcycle racing game and dials things up a notch. Bam! You'll find yourself mobbing up and down ramps, boosting through loops, and pulling off sick flips. Wow. I couldn't find too much about the development of this game, but let's talk about the mechanics. As you race along, you'll notice your nitro boosts below the time bar. These boosts are a blessing and a curse. Of course, they allow you to pull off better jumps and tricks. However, run too short on them, and you can end up being stuck on a ramp until your time runs out. And if you're as bad a gamer as me, that's more often than not. Finally, we have Castlevania, or Dracula Densetsu in Japan. Originally titled Vampire Killer, and made by Konami for the arcade, bringing Castlevania to the Game Boy was almost a requirement for the company. This occult, side-scrolling platformer will have you saying your prayers before you play. In this game, we control Simon Belmont, a guy who has it out for Dracula for some reason. Probably from all the killing and blood draining. Makes sense. So, let's kill Dracula then. Aim your whip at him, launch throwing axes, holy water at him. Just for the love of God, don't pay too much attention to how shitty the controls operate. It's as if the developers added unreliability to the controls as an extra challenge for the game or something like that. But, all in all, amazing title. It'll get you through, through a long road trip if you just practice beating your high score. So anyway, that's 6 Game Boy titles from 1989. It's obvious that the world was eagerly awaiting this new handheld gaming renaissance. And for what they were, I feel like the games released in that first year of the system's life were a perfect mix of, let's see how we can port this NES title over to a handheld, and actual original content that, even though it may be simple through a 2021 lens, these games absolutely changed the way we think about handheld gaming, and paved the way for some fantastic games in the future. If you like this video and you want to see more of them, hit the subscribe button and let me know down in the comments. I'd love to showcase a few games from each year of the Game Boy's life, revisiting years as my collection grows. But for now, I guess I'm signing off. This is A Smoother Flavor. Stay safe, you pricks.